And at 165, it'll be Marcus Espinoza-Owens, who is nationally ranked, against Logan Fowler, the sophomore from Cleveland, Tennessee. I feel like we talk about it all the time when we see Marcus Espinoza-Owens in action, but he is somebody that is so athletic and yet such a student of the mat.
Yeah, I think it's not something that he does, it's something that he loves. And it's really easy to see that in the coaching staff. They echo that consistently, that both he and his brother don't just do this, they just really love it. And you can tell with the amount of jumps they've made since they've come to South Dakota State. So two guys in the lineup I know they count on day in and day out in the room, and definitely here on the mat in competition time.
Again, Marcus Espinoza-Owens won 3 state championships in Utah, 3 different weight classes, at 152, 165, and 175. He's bounced around a little here at SDSU, but settled in this year at 65.
Yeah, pretty predominant left leg lead, which I know in space can cause issues for other guys because it's not. I mean, it's like in baseball, right? The more and more left-handers you see, it's changed over the years, but it's less common, right? That dominant hand, that lead leg being a left leg lead, and especially when you're moving from space, can be really frustrating for opponents. And he's really good about keeping the motion going. You see that fake, making his opponent change level, makes it kind of easier to get to your ties and get to your scores. You'll see in space here again, he's probably going to be changing level, touching, changing level, touch, fake, trying to keep his opponent Fowler on his heels.
Is there a simple way to prepare for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, at least from my experience, it comes down to that film work. If you're Fowler and your coaching staff, you kind of have to see that thing on film, and then you got to have a partner that can kind of mirror that. But what we always tell our guys and coaches say is there's no threat with an attack from space if you keep your front hand down and keep your head in the fight. He's got to blow through your head and hands, and if he does that, kudos to him, because that's a lot of dynamic movement to make that happen. Sometimes this is how the Espinoza-Owens matches go. You'll see the score in the period might be 0-0, might be 3-0, 3-1, but points usually accumulate as the wrestling continues if the pace stays at the level that they want it to be at. Fowler doing a really good job of just every time in space there's a reaction, it's not too much, right? That's his first attack he's really fired off. Haven't seen a lot from Espinoza-Owens either. Coach is saying be smart with your right hand, smart with your right hand. Big sag from Espinoza-Owens to end the period.
All right, so let me ask you this. What did we learn about these two guys through those 3 minutes?
You know, I learned that, I think what you're seeing from Fowler is that he's willing to slow the match down. That's been consistent with what's happened the last few duels. I know the Jackrabbits are out there wanting to score points. That is not me talking negatively about Fowler, but sometimes the game plan is to slow your opponent down. And if you've done any homework on Espinoza-Owens, his intent is to speed the match up. So I think both these guys are kind of at a standstill of where this match is going to go, and second period will be indicative of where it goes. You hear Coach Hahn saying start reaching, which is actually kind of the opposite of what people are usually saying. They're saying don't reach, because you don't want to get extended. I think he just wants him to reach to encourage the wrestling to happen, right? Because Fowler's ready and able right there, like what he's doing. He's able and willing to stand in space and just slow the match down. So I think he wants Espinoza-Owens to be reaching to create action.
Pressure.
You brought up the baseball analogy. This has been a pitcher's duel through 4 minutes.
Absolutely. It's yeah, and you know, with this guy, you could see 12 points on the board too in the next minute 40. It's just there's Depends on what happens. There's that lefty high C from space, big hips from Fowler, falls in the wizard position. You're going to see him stay on one leg here. He's going to try and transition that right arm out and cap that back ankle, or he's going to try and work to his feet. Looks like he's wanting to stay on the mat. He's going to try and reach to that back ankle. Oh, his right arm's caught. He's got to rip it out there. He does. Reaches for the back ankle, as we mentioned, and secures the takedown. Not the cut you're going to want to see with 7 seconds left here. The coaching staff at SDSU, you see them turn and talk immediately. Espinoza-Owens chooses bottom.
Another look at the takedown that has Espinoza-Owens on top.
Yeah, the start of that takedown was a left-handed high C. So again, what I'm mentioning earlier is just the left-handed high C from space is something uncommon to see. You see Damian Hahn on the bench talking strategy with the guys. They don't seem too worried, but also third period, 1-point match.
Hahn, a 4-time All-American, 2-time national champion at Minnesota, and 12 years the associate head coach at Cornell before coming to SDSU, where he coached Cam Simas, who was a 4-time All-American.
I was on the way down here with my friend Coach Casperson over at Harrisburg, and we both think very highly of those guys, and it's super cool to see that that's not common, man, to be this far down the road and still coaching together. An athlete-coach relationship is pretty awesome. 1-point escape from Espinoza-Owens. Attack from space. Cam Simas says get off, which is again unique because a lot of guys want to stay in that front headlock position. Cam Simas says get off so he can re-attack. He does, gets leg in the air, leg on the outside. You're going to see him probably try and work it inside, which he does. Fowler, excellent job of making it back to the mat there and stretching him out. That is tough work, man.
That is Damian Hahn's mom on the right.
You see Espinoza-Owens stepping Turk, and wow, Miss Hahn is really wanting him to score this takedown with 21 seconds left. This is big for the match. He's looking for exposure. She's offering more coaching than Damian at this point. This is good stuff.
Now we see where the headman gets it.
Yeah, and there's his son Miles right there next to Grandma, and Damian is from New Jersey originally. I know he speaks of his childhood fondly. His father no longer with us, thinks highly of his father. But yeah, trip out from New Jersey to watch this wrestling match, and she wants to go with the Jackrabbits way. Air Force is tossing that brick, thinking that there's time on the clock, which is a very valid throw of the brick.
So first time we have a replay review for Kevin Looper. And so coaches through this now, what are we looking for?
A lot of action to end the period.
Mm-hmm.
If there was 1 to 2 more seconds on the clock, that's absolutely going to be a takedown for Fowler. The referee thinks there was no time on the clock when the wrestling stopped. No takedown. I don't really know. I'll have to see.
Okay, that is Kevin Looper.
And I don't know if we'll get a
chance to see exactly what he's seeing at some point here. They're working on getting all the angles up there.
I think it'll be interesting to see if he's able to see the clock ticking.
So here you go. Here is the clock in the bottom right corner.
Okay, perfect. So you're looking at
it's the same thing that Mr. Looper's looking at.
Like him on Monday Night Football. 3 seconds, 2, 1. I don't know. I don't think it's enough to overturn it, especially with him reaching back. If Espinoza-Owens hadn't reached back and he had gotten the ankle Turk, to be different.
While this review goes on, let's remind you tomorrow afternoon the South Dakota State men's basketball team will play host to the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts. We'll have coverage on the Summit League Network and Midcoast Sports Plus tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. The Jacks and the Golden Eagles. The second of 3 straight days of action on Midcoast Sports Plus. As this replay review continues. Again, our replay folks, Eric Ray, our Datronics game day producer, providing all the looks here.
See, yeah, that freeze frame, I just don't see that being 3.
And again, if it is 3, Air Force wins. Fowler gets a 5-4 victory here because riding time does not play into this.
I think you're going to hear a call on the mat is confirmed if I had the mic.
So no takedown. And Espinoza-Owens a 4-2 winner.
Yeah, and honestly, you don't see a massive throwing of a fit of reaction from the Air Force match. I think they just thought there might be time. And like I said, if there's 2 more seconds, that match might be going Fowler's way. So congrats to him for wrestling the whole match. And I know Espinoza-Owens, that's not what he's used to, a guy wrestling all 7 minutes.